Scott with SJWellfire.com. Final Days Report, episode 302. It's official. The news now says breathing by humans is detrimental to the environment. You knew this was coming. The climate change hoax is nothing short of planned eugenics or democide, genocide by the government, and also an enslavement grid. They want to turn you into serfs. Only a couple elite ruling it all. That's their strategy, my friends. We haven't talked Club of Rome. This is a Club of Rome eugenics strategy. The Club of Rome is a globalist think tank by elite, by people that really subscribe to eugenics, to culling the population. In one of their books, The First Global Revolution really depicts their two-pronged strategy. Their two-pronged strategy is humans are evil. Humans carry all the diseases, and humans are polluting Mother Earth. Let's read. The book explores the idea that humanity is facing a global revolution amid social, economic, technological, and cultural upheavals, and proposes a strategy for world survival and transformation. This is all man-made madness, divide and conquer, order out of chaos. One of the controversial viewpoints expressed in the book is that in searching for a new enemy to unite us, this is where programming comes in with media and Hollywood and the school system. Let's read this again. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through change attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. The real enemy then is humanity itself. If you go check some of our podcasts out on primary water, oceans underneath the oceans that actually fizzle up are 3 times larger than the oceans on the surface, right? That's what flooded this world with Noah's flood. And Gaddafi tapped into it. He was greening the desert. They could green the desert tomorrow. There isn't a water shortage. One of my buddies who's very, very technical keeps sending me all these inventions of people just pulling fresh water right out of the air. Meanwhile, they're putting in all this smart equipment to make sure they measure and charge you. False scarcity, my friends. But you can't make this stuff up. This is nothing short of eugenics. Let's take a look at some of the people within the Club of Rome. We have George Soros from the pit of hell, right? Who actually is liberal beyond belief, but it's almost liberal to evil, where prosecutors are just letting hardened criminals out on the street. We have Bill Gates Sr., right, involved in Planned Parenthood, nothing short of eugenics. Obviously, we have Bill Gates. We've covered him at length. His classic speech at TED Talk, trying to cull the population. And oh, by the way, he's part of all these billionaires meeting to cull the population. I mean, good night. And then we have Ted Turner. Now, Ted Turner's classic quote, let's read: a total population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from the present levels would be ideal. These people want to cull you. 300 million is so much less than the 500 million from the Georgia Guidestones that somebody blew up, probably the elite themselves. And again, just more evidence these elite leaders are flat out set to shrink the world's population. Wall Street Journal, and again, remember Bill Gates, this was his meeting. Billionaires try to shrink the world's population, report says. Anybody that goes out and listens to Bill Gates on how he invested in all this as the days of Noah devil juice and knowing where his head is of reducing the population, folks, I would run from his technology. Obviously, most of you are awake, but we're getting new listeners all the time. Do not go and put and defile anything that this person is involved in. I remember we did a couple podcasts on how they were giving old school as the days of Noah devil juice in 2 African countries, and the Catholic Church figured out that they sterilized the women. And London Times actually had an article talking about how there was a old school as the days of Noah devil juice in the continent of Africa that gave the people of Africa HIV type symptoms. Can't make this stuff up. Do not defile yourself with their witchcraft and sorcery, their pharmakia. It's what it means, my friends. Wild time to be alive. Now, here is why I'm doing this. Breathing, this is from Outkick. Breathing is bad for the environment and helping kill the planet, scientists say. What? You knew this was coming. I knew this was going to come because there's a war on carbon dioxide. You exhale carbon dioxide. Only 4% of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide. At 2%, the Earth dies. Let's continue reading. Now, scientists say breathing is bad for the environment. That's humans breathing. Gases we exhale contribute to 1% of UK's greenhouse gas emissions. 2 greenhouse gases, both more potent than CO2, that's carbon dioxide, are in human breath. Who cares? One is methane, which is famously also emitted from livestock, such as cows. They don't want you eating cows because grass-fed cows actually regenerates the environment and is super healthy for you if it's grass-fed and rotated as God intended cattle to move, to graze. Their waste replenishes the soil. Soil becomes alive. We did a podcast, Why the War on Beef? There's wealth in beef. And all of this UN 17 global sustainable development goals really want to turn you into serfs. And I was an economics minor in undergrad, and I'll never forget a theory this person laid out. They said there are a couple things that get people out of poverty. One are property rights, clearly defined property rights where people can own their property with low taxes and pass them on to the next of kin, wealth generation. And the other one was cheap electricity. So now there's a war on electricity, right? You need to think about this. Why did Obama have a war on wooden stoves? Because people can heat their homes with wooden stoves. Why is Biden having a war on gas appliances? And it's not just Biden, it's around the world, it's around Europe. It's a enslavement system. They don't want you to have choice on anything. So then you'll just be relying on electricity that, oh, by the way, they'll take away coal and it'll skyrocket. You know what they're going to do is they're going to come out and they're going to say you have to replenish all of your appliances and gauges with smart systems. Smart is enslavement. You can't make this stuff up, my friends. You can't make this up. So I knew this was coming. And where they're going to take this, I'm going back to Bill Gates. He was talking about death panels. Eventually, what they're going to say is they're probably going to say, and I'm speculating as a strategist, as a marketing former director and general manager of some major business units, strategy was what I was accountable for. And if they want to call the population, what they're going to do is they're going to say you can live in a pod and be tied up to meta, tied up to this fake universe, and they'll harvest your energy, but your brain waves will still be active. And somehow your carbon dioxide and whatever else they think is harming Mother Earth will be recycled in this pod. That's what they're going to tell you. I did a podcast, AI Rapture. They're going to say you can live forever. And I think more draconian is they'll probably say, hey, you've lived too long. You need to leave this earth, flat out, eliminate yourself. Eugenics happening in Canada. Hey, we'll give you an opportunity to kill yourself. Another bit is they're going to probably steal your wealth. Look, you've breathed too much. Now you need to pay the system, right? Your tracker's over its limit. In order to live, you need to pay. And they'll probably deny healthcare as well. You've gone over your carbon dioxide output. We are going to not allow a surgery to happen to you. That's just off the top of my head. You can see the predictive programming, though, in movies, right? And I think one of the creepiest videos ever was that executive at the World Economic Forum saying, we're launching this carbon dioxide tracker so you can see your environmental footprint. Folks, this carbon tracker looks to operate just like the Chinese Communist Party social credit system by rewarding people who do the right thing while punishing those who do the wrong thing. This is behavior management. I was actually looking for this video of this man. I couldn't find it. I don't know if I just searched it wrong or what, but it was creepy, my friends.